Hi there, in this tutorial I'm going to show you how I go from this right here to this here. If you want to see how I get to cut and style this hair, please keep on watching this tutorial and don't forget to give it a thumbs up, share this video with your friend, and please subscribe to my channel if you're not subscribed and turn on the post notification bell. To purchase my ebooks, how to start your hair business, hair extensions, and how to test its quality, go to my website www.enlbeautyng.com. You want to purchase my hair vendors, my makeup products, my custom made wigs, or my ready to wear wigs. You can reach out to me via my website. If you feel like you want to speak to me one on one, I feel like it's not really necessary. Just buy my books and you get all the information you need from there. If you are trying to book a one on one session with me, I may not show up for the meeting. So please buy the books and get the information you need. Let's get right into starting this week now. To start, I section off the up part and I'm going to moisturize the hair using my Moroccan argan growth oil. Applied a little bit of it to my palm and I massage it and apply it to the hair. Sprayed my heat protectant spray and I'm starting to use my Cloud9 hair straightener to straighten the hair, starting from one side of the hair to the other side of the hair. I'm going to work in smaller sections to get the hair to be as sleek as I possibly can and move over to the up part of the hair. And after taking out some hair from the up parts, I'm going to clip it back on top and apply my Moroccan argan oil serum and spray my heat protectant spray. And I'll start using that Cloud9 hair straightener to straighten that part of the hair that's kind of wavy or coily. So I'm going to straighten it from one side and move over to the other side until I've completely straightened this entire section. If you're getting value from this video so far, make sure you give it a huge thumbs up, share with your friend who's also going to get value out of it, and please subscribe to my channel if you're not yet subscribed. Let's keep on going. So try as much as possible to ensure that you straighten the hair to the best of your ability. After I finish straightening this section, I'm going to tilt the wig over to complete the straightening of the other side, which you can still see that is wavy. Yes, so we're going to straighten that part, and after we finish straightening that part, we'll proceed to straighten the rest of the hair. The part that is left now is the closure area. I went back to my Moroccan argan oil serum, applied it to the hair and sprayed my heat protectant spray, and I'm going to use my hair straightener to straighten the closure area. That's the hair on the closure area, and this is what the hair looks like after I've completely straightened it. This hair was of course custom colored by me. I wanted to achieve like a brown color with little bit of honey brown highlight in it, and I was able to achieve that beautifully. Right now, what I want to start doing is adding layers to the hair. I want to cut it a bit so that it has more dimensions to it. It's not just one bland wig. So let's get into the process of adding layers to this hair. And I'm just cutting out the middle area. The reason I start with the middle parts is because it gives me like a level playing field where I have equal length of hair on both sides. So I'm going to start layering all the way down to this side, and I'm also going to use my scissors to cut from the up part downwards on the other side of the wig right here. And when I do the first cut, I like to just go and hold the tips together at the end and cut it off to make sure that the ends are leveled. And next I'm going to comb through the hair all around, and specifically at the front side, just ensure that everything looks uniform, and any part that doesn't look uniform, I'm just going to go with the scissors and cut off any uneven area on the lower part of the hair. But on the part of the face where I want the shape of the hair to frame my face, those are the areas where I'm going to leave the cutting to be jagged in a way that is slanting downward, because I want it to be able to frame one's face. Yes, so let's say I want to style this wig to be like a loose wave, or I want it to be very very wavy. The core pattern is going to be such that it still frames your face in a very lovely way. And because of the highlights and low light you're seeing in this hair, depending on how the sun hits the hair is going to be different. Like, it's going to look different under the sun, and it's also going to look different when it's like in the dark. So you notice that the hair on this side here looks really nice now, and it's safe to say that I don't really need to do much. I just want to just do like a final layering on this side. Then I can now compare it to the other side when I get to the other side. But for the tip of the hair, that's the end of the hair. I'm just using this razor blade, this comb that has a razor blade in it to sort of lighten it. I don't want it to be so thick at the bottom part. That's the reason why I'm using this blade to take out some hair at the bottom part to make it a bit lighter. They're not so heavy on the bottom. So comparing the other side I just showed you to this side, it's obvious that this side right here still needs a lot of framing, it needs a lot of cutting. So I'm going to go in with my scissors and cut it from the up part and layer it all the way down and comb through it again, and of course repeat the process of cutting it until I achieve the desired layers I want on this part of the hair. And it's what this is going to do is just to basically frame the face, frame the sides of the face down towards the neck area. Yes. So while I comb through the hair, I'm still going to go back in with my cutting comb and sort of cut through the hair. But I just went to the scissors because it's going to help me just to make the process faster and give me more defined cuts. So I cut it all the way down, and I'm also going to use the scissors to clean out that bottom area that looks like there's a big difference. We have completed the process of adding layers to this hair. Right now I'm trying to decide on where I want our part to be. Do I want it to be a C part? Do you want it to be a middle part? Do you want it to be a straight side part? I think I'm going to do a C part. What do you think? Let's do a C part, right? Okay, let's do a C part. So I'm going to use the end of that tail comb to draw out a C. This first one is not always going to be perfect, but you can always go back in until you achieve the desired look that you want. The closure on this wig is a 4x4 closure, which is not really wide, which obviously is limited in the space that it has. Yeah, but I'm just gonna work with it since that's what I have. And of course, so when it comes to laying the hairs on the closure area, you always need to use your hair wax and of course your hot comb or your coiling wand. While I'm combing through the hair, I'm using my coiling wand to flatten the hair around the perimeters of the closure, laying it to cover up the wefts. I'm going to keep on styling the closure area until I've achieved the desired look that I want. Then I can proceed to defining the parts on the closure area. And take note that despite the fact that I styled this wig to be a C part, I can always go back into style it as a middle part. That's the reason why I love the way I cut the hair, because I can get tired of how I have how I C part and decide that I want it to be a middle part. If you watch any of my old videos of recent, you notice that I like using my T-pins or a needle, the needle using Sunio weft. Like using needles like that are thin to pluck out the hairline, that's the parting area. If it's probably a C part, middle part, I like using thin pins like this to pluck out the hairs that are standing on my parts, because it just makes me take just a strand of hair that is laying on the part, because I like my patterns to be very thin. So one strand of hair being pulled out is enough. That's the reason why I use these pins that are very thin to enable me pick just a strand of hair, unlike if I used the rat tail comb, which is wider than the T-pin. So you can see how I gently pluck out the hair, and I'm done cleaning out the part. So right now I just go back into cut small layers around the side of the hair to further ensure that it frames my face really well, or rather my client's face, because of course I'm going to sell this wig to somebody. Somebody has to buy this wig. So if you want this wig when you see the final look, of course, and you feel like you it's something that you really need to have in your collection, reach out to me on Instagram, and I'll be glad to ship this wig to you anywhere in the world. I ship my wigs via DHL. Yes, so it's time to really get into styling this wig right now, and I'm going to use my heat protectant spray and spray it all over the hair before I start the process of coiling this hair. And that same coiling one you saw me using to flatten the closure area is the coiling one I'm going to use to coil the hair, of course. So I curled one side of the hair off camera. I'm going to show you how I curl my wigs now in this part of the video. So watch me do it. I don't think I need to explain this area. Just watch how I see how I wrap the hair around the coiling wand, coil up the hair, and after I've rolled the hair up around the coiling wand completely, I leave the hair on the hot barrel for at least 1 minute before I take it off and use my hair clip to pin the coils on top for the heat to cool off while the hair is still pinned on top. If you're getting value from this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, share with your friend who's also going to get value out of it, and please subscribe to my channel if you're not yet subscribed. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for always coming by. Thank you so much for watching my videos. Thank you so much for leaving a comment. If you have a question you want to know, if there's any part of this video that you need clarifications on, let me know in the comment section and I'll be glad to respond to you. If it's something I can respond to via text, I will respond via text. And if it's something that needs me to make a video to explain, I will film the video as soon as I can. Yes, let's continue the process of coiling this hair. And you notice that I always clip my hair in after I've coiled it, and this is the complete process of how the hair looks after I finish coiling it. I let the paint stay on the hair for about 2 days before I took the paint off. If you want your coils to last longer, you can leave the paint on your hair for about 1 week. It's going to ensure that your coils last longer. But I was in a hurry to show you guys the finished look, so I didn't leave the paint on for long. Right now, I want to start styling the closure area. In fact, the whole of the hair. I took some hair around the closure area to cover up the weft, and I'm using my hot coiling one to flatten the hair to cover it up completely. And I'm combing the hair on the closure area now, and I just want to just ensure that the hair there lays flat, but I would still give it an elevated look, because whenever I'm doing a C-part, man, I always love that elevated look. If you like that elevated look like I do, let me know in the comment section. So while I'm still combing through the hair, I'm still trying to ensure that I don't lose all the curls, despite the fact that I'm combing them out completely. Yes, so after combing it out, what I'm going to do next is to sort of style the up part of that's up part of that wig there. I'm going to spray my heat protectant spray all around here. Then I'm going to also apply my hair wax to lay any flyaway hairs that are on the up parts. Then I'm going to use my hot coiling one to flatten the hair around the up part of the wig to make it look more beautiful. Yes, because from the way I curled the hair, it sort of made the hair look a little bit uneven, so that's the reason why I have to go back in and flatten the hair around those areas. Yes, it's taking shape now. Everything looks really nice, and we are almost done with the process of styling this week. So you notice that because of how I comb through this hair, the curl pattern is not really as defined as it was before. But wait, I'm going to show you something that I do to frame the curls much better. Even if you may have combed your hair and the curls are not really following a pattern that you may want it to follow, I'm going to show you what I do in a few minutes to help enhance the way your curls look after you may have combed them out. Next, I want to recall the hair around the closure area to give it that back flip. I want it to be the curl to go in the backward direction. Yes, that's the reason why I called it the way I called it. You can see I took the coiling one and I called the hair backwards on the coiling one. I'm going to hold the heat there for a bit and then take it off. Yes, so what I'm going to do next is just ensure that I lay any flyaway hairs that might have sprung up, and then I can then proceed to applying concealer to my closure area and foundation on the inside to make it look more natural. The shade of the concealer I'm using here is the Early Girl Pure Beige. Yeah, wow, this Milani concealer in, is it Toffee? Yes, I'm just gonna buff that foundation on the inside of the wig to make it look more skin like for my caramel skin tone girls, my dark skin tone girls, and my light skin tone girls. So here I'm still combing through the hair, and what I want to do now is sort of give the curl pattern some definition. So I'm using that small comb now to comb the hair on the opposite direction so that the curl pattern goes in that direction. Yes, and from the way I comb it this way, you notice that the curls look more defined, the hair looks more put together, unlike how it did before because of how I comb through the hair roughly. So yes, I'm going to use that comb and also comb this area right here, combing the hair in the opposite direction. So you notice that the curl pattern goes backward, which is I think more beautiful in my own opinion. Yeah, but if you like it the way it was before, you don't have to do this, but I like it like this. That's the reason why I'm doing it like this. Yes, so I'm going to do this until I have achieved the look that I want on all the parts of the wig, and I know I'm done. And another thing is, let's say you don't want to have to deal with doing this. What you can simply do is, after you've taken out the pins on your hair, don't comb through it, just leave it. All you just need to do is style the upper part of the wig and leave it as it is, so you don't have to deal with the process of trying to reset the curls back. If you got value from this video, please make sure you smash that like button and give me a subscription. Like, subscribe to my channel, share this video with somebody who's also going to subscribe and would also learn a thing or two from it. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much for watching this video. I know there were other videos that were probably suggested on your feed, but you chose to watch this one, and I appreciate you for watching this video. Thank you so much, and remember, be bold, have courage, live a positive life, and I'll catch you in my next video. Did you like how this hair turned out? I think I should have done better, but this is what I ended up with for this tutorial. Maybe off camera I'll go back in and do something else, but this is the finished look, guys. Thank you so much. Bye.